Hey guys, Frizzy Brony here, and we are back with another episode, Thoughts and Reaction. This one is Season 9, Episode 12, The Last Crusade, and let me tell you, not enough Indiana Jones references for my liking. But we'll get to that in due time. This is, of course, a weird episode. We're at Episode 12. This isn't an overwhelming episode, but it isn't an underwhelming episode. It's that weird, horrible grey area in between, leaving us just averagely whelmed. Because it contains big reveals, but really doesn't do much with them. And that's honestly a shame, although, as I say, we'll get to that as we discuss through. Because, as the title suggests, Last Crusade, this is of course a Cutie Mark Crusader episode, and it doesn't waste any time letting us know that as the first thing we see when we start the episode.
Cutie Mark Crusaders!
Oh great, subtitles are back.
Crusaders! Cutie Mark Crusaders! Cutie Mark Crusaders!
Oh. Is a screaming child, yes indeed, running down the road, yelling at the top of his lungs, Cutie Mark Crusaders. And I thought he was going to have a problem because it kept getting higher and higher and higher. Now from this little cold tear, I definitely got vibes that he was maybe one of the producer's kids or something who had no scene. They're like, yeah, we'll give you a little cameo role in the episode. But the first red flag, or green flag, however you want to see it, that something is not quite amiss, is when they pass a particular house, and we have one of the Cutie Mark Crusaders pop up saying, they're at my place.
Cutie Mark Crusaders!
Oh.
We're at my house!
Kid, you're getting excited. Or something similar. But it answers one big question at least. Where does Scootaloo live? Now we know she has a house in Ponyville. And yes, it is her house. It's not one that she's borrowing or squatting in. This is actually her house. And the one's taking care of her.
Thanks, Aunt Holiday, but I'm not sure we can take credit for this one.
Of course you can. You encourage that cult to try new things. And because you all believe
Actually, no, that's
in him,
Australian.
he succeeds.
That's Australian.
I could use that kind of help.
Come on, Auntie Lofty. You already have your Cutie Mark.
It's these two.
Not as good it does me.
Yes, Aunt Lofty and Aunt Holiday. Two new characters who are Scootaloo's aunts. And they are causing a bit of a storm in the fandom at the moment because everyone's going on, oh, it's Scootaloo's lesbian aunt. But then again, if you're fans of the show only, it's understandable. This is the first time they have ever been mentioned. But if you're a connoisseur of the outer material, then you know that Holiday and Lofty have been mentioned before. So, knowing that Scootaloo has two LGBT aunts is not anything new, but it's nice to see them actually on screen with voices, and it just tickled me so much that Aunt Holiday was Australian.
Goodness, we better get going or we'll miss our train home. I left you plenty of healthy food.
Good eye,
for the
mate.
weekend.
And I left you cookies.
I can't get over how Australian she is.
Tonight, then ready, and Rainbow Dash after that.
What is the equestrian equivalent of Australia? Do we actually have one? Because they drop so many now geographical names in this episode, I want there to be. You can't really go Australia because that just doesn't sound right, but we'll find something at least. But these two are leaving, they're heading back, and we find out that Scootaloo does live on her own, technically, but being a child, she has carers. As they lay out, the Cakes are going to be looking after her one night, then Rarity another, Rainbow Dash another, and then they'll be back at the weekend. So it seems that Scootaloo's on this weird rotational rota of a carer for the week. But this is where we get the big reveal.
Yeah, it's really cool they want you while your parents are gone. I know!
Parents?
I just wish they lived closer.
Parents?
No pony bacon.
Confirmation!
Lofty.
Yeah, that's the collective sound of everyone's jaws hitting the ground. Scootaloo has parents. Confirmed. One of the biggest mysteries we've had since the show started, and we saw that Rarity has, Sweetie Belle has family, Apple Bloom definitely has a massive family, but we never knew what the deal was with Scoots, and there are so many tragic fanfics about her family, her story, her situations, and they've all just been wiped out in one fell swoop. Because right now we've got aunts, we've got a Ponyville house, and we have parents that are arriving.
They're coming home today! Hi, parents!
So the theme song ends. That was the perfect place for it to cut for the theme song. We are back in school, and we see that Scootaloo is, well, rightly so, agitated and anxious at the return of her parents. What child wouldn't be?
The factory specializes in snow, rain, sunshine, and...
Sleet.
Scootaloo, may I help you? I
Aww.
just noticed your erasers needed dusting.
Why don't we hold off on the lesson until after lunch? How about show and tell? Does any pony have any...
My parents are coming home to Ponyville today!
Now, she gives all the spiel about how her parents are these big, high-profile ponies that do things that only they can. No other pony in Equestria can do what they can. And kids being kids, they exaggerate. I was half expecting this was going to be where it came crashing down, that technically they may have even told Scootaloo they do this, but the parents were going to be a little bit on the shady side. Okay. So they are Australian. Steve Irwin? It's Steve Irwin! Oh, it's Steve Irwin. Aww. I'm both happy and sad.
And that means now, mister.
Oh, okay. She wasn't lying then. Okay. Really? A crocodile in the classroom? Why did they bring that with them? That is a question I have right there. We get the reveal of her parents, and don't get me started on the Steve Irwin pony. That was just, that got my mind racing of so many different ways that could go. But the fact that they've come back to Ponyville and they have a crocodile is kinda suspect. And the fact they brought it to school. Cheerilee's reaction is just perfect for it, seeing her up on the desk.
I hope we didn't interrupt anything. No, I think class is dismissed.
Also, yes, I still do take offense to the mother's name being Main Allgood, when only last season, I think it was last season, the episode where Fluttershy deals with all the sick animals in her animal sanctuary, we had the confirmed Main Goodall. So now we've got two ponies essentially filling the exact same role with just their names or their last name actually swapped. I don't know how to feel about that, since I did like the vet a lot more. We spent more time with her and she was just a lot nicer of a character. But we'll see as the episode goes on whether or not we'll warm up to the mother.
Crikey! You're nearly as tall as me now, Scoot.
Aw, come on, Dad.
Oh, Scootaloo.
Shit, Australian?
Me too, Mom. Did you get all my letters?
And read them 20 times, but they're never as good as the real thing.
Yes, the dad's Australian, so now we know which member is the blood relative of the family. Holiday is Scootaloo's blood aunt. So we see they've returned for a little while and they're going to be spending some time, which is good. Scootaloo has that reuniting experience with her parents. We now get to see her, and her parents have that wonderful, wonderful bonding time. Or so we thought.
Somber's return, the destruction of the Tree of Harmony, we decided our family should be together.
Word travels fast.
This is the best day of my life.
I get
We'll
it.
stay in town for the weekend, so you can pack your things.
Yep.
What? We're all moving to Shire Leica. That's where our new job is.
But my friends are in Ponyville.
You can come back and visit them, or they could take the train to us. There's one every month.
Yeah. We don't really get much time with them. They're only there for a weekend before they're going to be heading out on another expedition, and this time they want to bring Scootaloo with them. And naturally, that just sets all of the Cutie Mark Crusaders off. This is the conflict of the episode, people. The fact that Scootaloo's parents have finally returned, and yet they're going to be leaving, and they want to take her with them. So immediately, we know where this episode is going to go. But we'll let it play out. Admittedly, I was a lot happier for this one, because knowing what happened with Steve Irwin in real life, I was praying they weren't going to go that dark in the actual show. It's like, it's okay, sport, we're going to go off, we'll come back, it'll be fine. A month later, sorry, but your dad's had an accident. Glad, so glad they didn't take that approach. But now we see the Cutie Mark Crusaders having their moment where they think they're going to have to say goodbye.
Hey, we got Babs!
You can't let the blank flanks down just because I'm gone. You gotta keep being CMCs without me.
Mixing that wonderful blend of genuine heart-tugging sadness with the fact it's overdramatic and comedy definitely works to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. But knowing them, they're not going to take things lying down, especially after a little bit of intervention from Rainbow Dash.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I cannot believe you're giving up so easily. You're the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Solving tough problems is what you do. We are pretty good at coming up with ideas. That's right. When we work together, we're unstoppable. I can't believe we didn't think of it before. It's list time, y'all.
So now we get the montage through the episode, or not really a montage, but we get the sequence of them coming up with their different ideas on how they can try to convince the parents not to go or to remain in Ponyville. And the first idea is to lie to them.
Then how would we hear about it? Because we're making it up. Come on. So, you want these tickets, or? This is what I wanted to show you. The tracks of the mysterious Everfree Banshee Beast.
Great moral there for the kids. Lie to people's parents to get what you want. I'm glad that this plan actually backfired and it didn't really succeed, although it did give us a few little giggles.
Now the plan is run! Guess you solved the mystery.
Myth busted!
Better get back. There's a lot to get ready before the house goes up for sale tomorrow.
So that's Sweetie Belle's plan out the way. Also proving that, like it runs in her family, if she needs to be, Sweetie Belle can be pretty devious, which she's shown in the past before. Definitely you can tell that she is the sister of her sister. But now we get Apple Bloom's plan, which is a little more... well, it's more honest, which once again runs with the Apple family. Although it still does not really go according to plan.
On this potion, please depend. Any separation, mend, friends together, till the end.
It's glue.
We just gotta dab a little on our hooves.
Friendship glue.
Sounds perfect, right? Better than perfect.
A little dabble, do ya?
Is something supposed to happen? Is this the something that's supposed to happen? The book didn't really say. Thanks for trying, Apple Bloom.
So we keep learning that they're planning to sell the house, they're going to be moving out to Sri Lanka, and there's nothing they can do really. Scootaloo is having to go with them, which is still pretty much of a dick move on the parents' part, not going to lie on that one. But we see that as they keep going through the motions, they've tried convincing through trickery, they've tried honest appeal, and it hasn't really worked. So, they do the one thing that I can guarantee, as a kid, you did this. I did it, I know you did it. You run away from home. You just say you're gonna do it. It's like, fair enough, my parents don't understand me, I'm leaving, I'm not coming back, I'm gonna go live with Grandma. Of course they're not going to Grandma though, they are going to be going to see their aunts. After all, there's a train that goes once a month, and the parents can't miss it, so they're going to try and delay them as much as possible.
That's it! Is this another potion idea? No!
Salty sweetie.
Scootaloo's parents are the only ponies in Equestria that can do what they do, right? Right? Well, so are we! Our cutie marks prove it! Yeah! Our job is to help other ponies find
How long
their
did this train
purpose.
journey take?
And no pony else can do that.
That's the factor.
So if my parents split us up, It'd be just as bad as them quitting their jobs. Woo! Now, how do we explain that to them?
Glad we get to see more of the aunts. They're absolutely adorable, especially by making the quilt. And inspiration hits in the most unlikely of places, although it's a good thing they did go, because they do learn a valuable lesson.
Scootaloo! What a nice surprise.
Good night, Slugger.
And I've got a surprise for you.
Jeez.
You three inspired me to finish my quilt. See? It's Cutie Mark Crusader themed.
We love hearing stories about all the
I love the fact it's
ponies
Cute
we
Mark
helped.
Crusader, but
So
the
what?
best one is just
Decided to
Diamond
celebrate
Tiara
the
and
special
Silver
job
Spoon
you
there.
three do.
They're the first ones I noticed.
It's still a work in progress.
Aww.
Now, Aunt Holiday is charming, and it's not just the accent. She is one of those aunts that you genuinely would love to have. But for me, despite not saying as much or being as, I hate to say, not as interesting, Aunt Lofty does hit a bit harder home for me because I too did have an aunt who used to make quilts and blankets and a lot of patchwork stuff. And in fact, we still do have it in the family home back in the UK. We have the family blanket that she made that has all these patches on. So seeing them come up with this blanket with all the different cutie marks, even though I didn't show it much in the episode reaction, it really got me there thinking about my own aunt. So I really have warmed up to Lofty quite a lot, even though she does not say much. And it's thanks to those two that another plan is formulated and they quickly get back on the train to Ponyville. I wish it was easy for journeys like that anywhere else in the world. Like, we get a train there, get a train back, and we've still got part of the day to waste. So we get back to Ponyville and we see them put this final plan in action.
Sweet Celestia's slippers!
What is all this?
Hey, Gabby's there.
It's Cutie Mark Crusader Appreciation Day! But we couldn't start without all of them here. CMCs! 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 CMCs!
This is as much as we're going to see the main six here.
With the convincing help of the main six, or at least Rainbow Dash in some part, we have that the Cutie Mark Crusaders have staged their own international day. They've managed to convince the town, its residents, the mayor, even the essential equivalent of the military, to do a flyover as part of Cutie Mark Crusader Appreciation Day, which is a fantastic feat, even if it is a made-up thing just to trick the parents. And there are a few cameos in the background, which was nice to see. We got to see Troubleshoes again, a lot of the background ones. I'm forgetting names. Troubleshoes was the big one standing out, so he's why I remember. And of course, well, we got to see, even if it was for a split second, a Spitfire.
Oh my god, they got a flyover?
A full Wonderbolt salute!
Oh, I'm not sure you know just how important Scootaloo and her friends
Oh,
are,
jeez.
little brother.
But you're about to find out.
Now, I always had to wonder about the smoke trails they make and how they did it, because, okay, dark clouds I can understand, but this time they did 3 different colours, and yet it was still recognised as a full Wonderbolt salute. So that means just them passing by is really a salute. It doesn't matter what colour the smoke is. But it's thanks to this display from the entire town, testimonials from the mayor, and from people that they've helped, that they prove their point really. That as much as the parents have a job that only they can do, Scootaloo has a job that only she can do with her 2 friends. And that for the betterment of Equestria, her and the Cutie Mark Crusaders need to stay as a cohesive unit.
Well, I'll be a 3-tailed bandicoot. I had no idea how important Scoot's club was.
Oh, it's way more than just a club. The CMCs have made a difference for every pony here.
And not just ponies. They help every creature.
Whether it's encouraging others to discover their special talent,
Or inspiring them to do what's in their heart.
these 3 fillies offer the town something no other pony can.
And it's thanks to this that the parents do see a little bit of sense. Although they do still have a bit of fun with it.
Still coming with us, kiddo.
After all that, you're still gonna make her leave.
Hey, trouble shoes.
We just want what's best for Scootaloo. And until now, we thought we knew what that was. Sometimes that means missing out on other things you love, like watching our daughter grow into a pony we're very proud of.
Which is a long way to say, Scoot, if you want to stay, we understand.
And rather than the other episodes that have kind of been one-offs and ended rather abruptly, this one has a genuine, deserved ending. Because rather than just sort of having a moral, oh, we're all laughing, we're happy, end of the episode, this one has a full climactic resolution. The parents see that their daughter is growing up and is better off without them. Harsh as it may sound, it's true. They also get the fact that they know that they're not going to be able to see her grow up, but they will be back to actually see her, which is nice. And we get the aunts who have decided to move from where they were to Ponyville. So I would say it would be nice to see more of them, but this is the last season. So unless they appear in the background of other episodes, this is pretty much what we're going to get of them. But still, so the aunts have moved to Ponyville. The house was sold, but they're obviously going to get a new one, so Scootaloo can live there. Cutie Mark Crusaders aren't broken up, and a family is still reunited. So all in all, the episode ends on a satisfying conclusion. Not as satisfying as the parents staying or Scootaloo going and doing the whole Wild Thornberrys thing, but still satisfying enough. And it's at this point the credits roll, and I've got to say, for a standalone episode, because it felt more complete, this episode is a little bit better than a few of the standalones we have had. However, as I said at the beginning, it's too little, too late. Since the start of the show, we've had that burning question of who are Scootaloo's parents, what are her parents, and where are they, what happened to them. And here we get, yeah, they're basically animal researchers and they've been away on work. They're basically Newt Scamander. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Scootaloo edition. It's not to say I don't like them as characters. In fact, it was very nice getting to see the personality quirks that Scootaloo gets from her parents. But I just couldn't vibe with them. With the mother, she just seemed to be there and a character they probably didn't put too much thought into. Once again, going to the name situation. And with the dad, he was nice, a little bit of a lovable doof, but then again it did show that when they're on the job they can be very thorough and logical in what they do. So the parents were genuinely nice to see, but too little too late to introduce them in the final season. Unless this is just a way of saying, it's the final season, she has parents, nya 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 nya, all your works are down the toilet now. Which I wouldn't put it past them to do. The aunts were an absolute joy to see more of, because once again, if you've read the books, then you know where they factor in, and it's nice to see them fully fleshed out. All in all, it is a little bit of a missable story if it wasn't for the hard-hitting points of character development, which make it stand out a little bit more than the run-of-the-mill one. So, on a score out of 10, this episode probably is going to get from me 7.5, pushing on an 8. It's not phenomenal, but it's above average in what it gave us, but not by much. So I'm going to stick it at 7.5, right there. 7.5 for this episode. Tell me what you thought in the comments down below. What you liked about the episode, what you didn't like, if you thought it was too rushed. I definitely can understand that one. Just let me know down below what you thought. It's easy enough. And until next time, bye-bye.
I tried sailing, like you
I do
said.
say skedaddle a lot.
Next, I tried fishing, like you said. Then I tried rowing, like you said. But my oar broke. So I used my fishing line to tie it back together, and I got my cutie mark!
Yay.
I can't wait to
Jeez.
fly my pony!
Calm down, kids.
Oh, they're coming home today! Ooh, my parents! My little pony, my
I swear, Hasbro. I swear.
Today, we're going to learn about the Pegasus Weather Factory. Once every pony is in their
No,
seats,
no, 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 no. Don't be bringing that reference up, Cheryl.
The factory specializes in snow, rain, sunshine, and...
Sweet.
Every pony.
The field jellies.
Made all good.
Sorry to make such an entrance. Just brought back a few mates from our last
No.
adventure.
We couldn't wait another moment to see
No.
Scootaloo.
You cannot use that name.
Anything.
You have already introduced Main Goodall.
No.
You can't have Main All Good now.
Class is dismissed.
You cannot have the two.
Guess who just got free front row tickets to the Wonderful show next week?
Oh, poor Dash.
Thanks for the tickets.
Scoot, are these yours?
Have you and your friends been taking pictures of your asses?
We're sending them
These
to the...
3 fillies offer the town something no other pony can.
Oh crap, we missed our train.
Which is a long way to say, Scoot, if you want to stay, we understand.
But we still sold the house.
Thanks, Dad.
So enjoy living under a bridge, kiddo. Aww.
Oh, sweetie, I'm just sorry we didn't realize it sooner.
Derp.
Our work is our life's purpose.
Of course!
Rabid bugbears couldn't keep us away.
Hey, she's had her Applejack moment.
You got to stay here. You got to stay here. You got to stay here.
Well, that was an episode.